am woman, hear me roar, and numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back to pretend.
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon.
I'm glad you didn't sing any more of that. We'd get copyright strike.
Yeah, sorry, well,
I had to take a look over to see if he'd written the lyrics down, and he hasn't.
well, it's a pretty famous song, right?
It's pretty
Just
famous,
memorised.
Connor.
I didn't even
Famous
realise there was a song for it.
Yeah, it was in the original
Have you seen the
one,
film?
No,
the new one
no.
at the end.
I've watched a review of the new one, and I don't think I've watched the old one either. Or may have, but years and years ago.
Anyway, episode 45 of the Sunday Movie Marathon. My name's Max, joined as always by the crew.
Yeah, I'm Chris.
I'm Darcie.
And a returning host.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just waving at Darcie.
Yeah, Darcie isn't here today. She's joining us over Zoom. Whereas the other three, me, Max, Connor, we're recording in person for like first time since must be the original 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually bullshit.
Since episode 3, yeah.
I was watching one back the other week, and it was I can't remember which episode. It was Chris just mentioned like at that point we have done more Zoom podcast episodes than in-person one at that point, and you guys are still doing it over Zoom, aren't you?
Yeah.
You haven't got an audio interface for 4 people. God, so this
Not
is
yet.
This is probably new to you.
Or old.
You can actually, if he makes a good point, Max, you can be like, oh, well done, mate.
Oh, I can slap him.
Yeah. If he starts chatting
That's
shit.
a terrible take.
Chris, redo that, mate.
How have you been, Connor?
Yeah, right. Yeah, been good. I see on your notes that I want to do a Bones retrospective.
Oh yeah, you watched the rest of
Darcie,
Bones.
did you ever watch Bones?
No.
Right. So obviously when we did it for episode 25, I kind of got into it and then just started watching the rest of them. And
Yeah, you finished it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did all 12 seasons. And long and short, pretty good. 12 seasons. There was the only issue I ever had with Bones is that they do no overarching storyline. And if they ever did, there'd be like 2 episodes in the beginning of the season, 1 in the middle, and then it would just randomly end.
Yeah.
So like rather than like halfway through the season, they'd be like, oh, there's this like main thing that they need to accomplish. They do it on like 1 or 2 episodes, and then it just goes back to being like a weekly thing. So watching 12 seasons, I was just like, oh, what's happening this week? And then everything was anticlimactic. Like Booth nearly died twice, and you think, oh shit, it's gonna be like really dramatic. And then like in the next episode, he's fine. Like at the end of season 2, he gets shot. You think he's dead. Then season 3, the first episode, like comes back within 5 minutes, and you're like, what?
Yeah, doesn't sound great, to be honest.
Nah.
Sounds kind of shit.
I don't know whether I enjoyed it so much because I liked it or because there's just nothing to watch during lockdown.
Yeah, but was it like so bad it's good?
Like I watched that and Friends again, like all 10 seasons.
Oh, you're in too deep. You might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you at 22 seasons of TV I watched in the span of like 3 months?
Yeah. It's not like you had much else to do. You weren't working.
Nah. And we were in lockdown again, so... But, yeah. Bones, give it a watch. 8 out of 10.
No, I'm alright.
4 out of 5.
I'm fine with what
He was
I watched.
looking at me that whole time, so I felt like he was talking to me, but I don't know. I don't know if I should watch
There's moments in
it.
life where things happen for a reason, right? So I think Max was sent through this box of Bones just so I would watch all 12 seasons.
Yeah, it's the only reason we did it was because I got sent like a big box set of the entire Bones collection. I'm like, who sent
surprised
this
you
to
still
me?
have it.
Why do I have it? I still have it,
Yeah.
but like it's like a surprise every time I look up onto my bookcase. I'm like, oh, it's up there, and I'm always surprised. It's like a fun little present to myself.
I'll tell you what though, there was one line in the whole entire show that I just completely lost my shit and couldn't stop laughing to. And it's, you know, the episode where her real life sister is in the episode.
Yeah, you
Zoe
told us about it.
Deschanel. Is that yeah?
Yeah.
So she ends up playing like her cousin, who is exactly like her. And so she comes over, and then Booth walks in and meets her, and he's like, "Oh, what are you two sisters?" And then one of them just looks at the camera and laughs.
He's like, oh,
I just watched that part. I was like, "Oh, fucking hell! This is where this show is going."
But other than
And
that,
then it
really
made
epic.
no sense for her to be in the episode whatsoever. She played no role
She was.
in just being Zoe Deschanel,
Yeah, she's
the
Zooey
sister
Deschanel.
of the other one.
She doesn't need a reason to be in things. She can just show up and you'll be like, there's Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, so the last 19 episodes of my absence can just be summed up as I watched all of Bones,
Yeah.
and it was meh. It was okay.
That's the real reason you
I
left.
watched
You were
it
just
all, it
watching
was
it all
fine.
again.
Yeah, I've just been continuously re-watching it.
Yeah.
Africa was nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get on there?
I adopted a family.
Adopted a family.
Yeah, man.
They were already like conceived.
Yeah.
You just.
They already had
took 'em.
a father figure in.
Yeah.
So
You adopted him as well.
he's now my son.
He was like 50.
Got an iPad for him.
Oh yeah. How'd they take that?
Postal service, I guess.
Like a duck to water, right?
Say again.
Like a duck to water. You give... Okay.
What are you talking? I was making a reference to what's the movie with Sacha Baron Cohen in, where he's like got swapped an iPad for the baby.
Oh, what? Is it Bruno?
Bruno, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if you swap an adult, you get an iPad.
Nice.
It's like an extra prize. How have we all been then over the last week? Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
living the
working.
dream.
Yeah, nice. Chris is working full time.
Oh.
Sorry, Darcie's got like a.
Wait.
Sorry, Darcie's like joining
you
us
say
over
that?
Zoom, and she's got like a Red Bull in her hands, and every time she brings it a little bit closer to the camera, like it blurs
Right,
out as if it's like blurring product
Darcie,
promotion.
yeah, I was gonna say, Darcie, lift it up quickly. It's almost like someone's done a YouTube video and then they've like broken partnership, and now Red Bull are censoring the promotion that they did with her.
Yeah, this is a non-sponsored can of something.
It's something. It's in a can.
You should have got the memo, Darcie, because everyone's drinking Monster.
Well, yeah, like I said, I got this last night because I thought I was going to need it on the car ride home, but I just didn't drink it. So
Yeah, but what made you go
It's
for
just here.
sugar-free Red Bull over anything?
because it was on an offer.
Oh, fair enough.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Truth told.
The last time I had an actual normal Monster was when we were on our way up to download, and Tobin gave me like half a can, and I felt awful after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got.
not
It's
good.
just like sugary hell, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
It's a bit
probably just
much.
haven't drunk it in so long, but yeah, it just gave me a massive headache. I don't know whether it was the Red Bull or whether it was just Tobin's voice.
What did you do last night then, Darcie?
I went to Kentish Town and I saw some bands play some things, and I saw some bands accept awards and things.
Was it
Pretty
awesome?
cool.
Nice.
Do you know, I'm dying to go to another gig. I'm really
Mm.
tempted because I've got the money now. I'm really tempted to either go to Pendulum this month or go to the All Time Low gig.
Yeah.
Do you
Pendulum's
know
a
what,
bit more-
Connor? There's one of my friends went to Creamfields, right? Every single time I go, did you go see Pendulum? I want to see if it's worth going. And then she goes, what, the Australian band? And I went, yes. Did you go and see them? And then she just ignores it.
Wait,
So if
are
she's listening to this, fucking respond to me.
Pendulum Australian?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you wouldn't tell with the guy's voice.
No.
But yeah, but so they're the two gigs that I kind of want to go to. Pendulum's more expensive by like 20 quid,
Mhm.
but All Time Low have the main supporting them. And I already said my ideal lineup would be the main supporting All Time Low and go in there.
When is that? I didn't know they were touring.
That's very end of September. I think it's close to when Pendulum plays.
Oh,
Or, do you know what? Just fucking go to both.
Yeah, why not?
Anyone want to see
It's
you
Pendulum?
could.
Of course I do.
I actually
One
would
of my
go,
favourite bands.
but
There you
Well,
it's just money, isn't it? Really?
well, yeah, no shit.
Everything
That's
is
kind of how the
money,
world works,
isn't it?
Darcy.
I think she
What was
meant it's
that?
just very expensive.
Yeah.
Everything worth it is. I actually saw like a few bands the other day because I went to the Victorious.
Did you go
Victorious
for free?
Festival. I got in for free because I was working. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone. So I was there on like the Saturday, and then I went home because I couldn't be bothered. And then I went after work on the Sunday. I saw Fontaine's DC, Supergrass, and Royal Blood. They were all very, very good. I had never heard of Fontaine's DC before, but they were bloody brilliant.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, they're
man.
pretty cool.
The only reason I went to Victorious like 2 years ago in 2019 was because someone offered me a free ticket because I was the exact same. I wasn't going to go unless it was free. And then I got there and she was like, oh no, you have to pay for it. I was like, I'm not paying for this ticket. She was like, why? Most of the bands here are crap this year.
Yeah.
Mm,
And she was fine with it. I bought her a drink and she was good.
yeah.
Yeah, I went once because Noel Gallagher from Oasis was playing.
Did you see him?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
he played Wonderwall.
One of
nice.
my friends has supported Noel Gallagher on
Nice.
I don't know when. It may have been then, in all fairness. Tom what's his shit? Tom Bertram. That's his name.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was kind of boring. I don't like Noel Gallagher anyway.
Nah.
Which one's which? Who does Don't Look Back in Anger?
That's Noel Gallagher. Liam Gallagher's the one that sings all their other songs.
Okay, so alright. Is that an Oasis song? I thought it was an original.
No, it's a Oasis song.
Oh, okay. Wow. So they've both just split up and they're just like splitting the songs now.
No, they're just doing all the same songs together, pretty much, just separately.
Does any of them play Wonderwall still?
Both of them do. I saw Noel Gallagher do Wonderwall.
Oh man, I still have flashbacks to this day about Download 2017 when we saw Machine Gun Kelly and he did the whole speech about this song's this song's a cover of like one of my idols, one of my biggest inspirations, and I turned to Toby and was like, I swear to God, if he starts playing Wonderwall, and then all of a sudden he started playing Wonderwall. It's like, fuck's
Do you know what?
sake.
That was
I've
great.
heard
though.
that story so many times, but it's still so good because it's so stupid.
He was good live
He
until
was
he
good, to be fair.
Well,
assaulted a member of the audience.
when he grabbed that girl by the neck.
Honestly.
yeah, apparently she was like proper into it, which is like,
Honestly, I thought he was gonna spit in her mouth or something.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god. He was
looked
getting
like it.
booed last night, like to fuck. It was so funny.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah,
Where did
so
you see
I was
him?
at this thing called like the Heavy Music Awards, and like everyone there was like obviously like
Heavy music.
I don't know, into like heavier music, and everyone was like, so they had like this category for like best album, and Machine Gun Kelly was nominated, and there was just the boos were just just you could hear it, like it was like so gross.
Why did it take you so long?
I was confused at what Max was doing.
Sorry, I had to like give Chris my laptop so
Yeah,
I
he
could
just put-
shuffle up a
Put
bit.
his laptop on my leg, and I was like, what are you doing?
We were all on like,
I thought he just got
I can
sick
barely
of
hear
holding
Chris.
the
I can just hear like
Yeah.
mumbling and
Yeah.
back.
but yeah. So that's that. And I went to Victorious, and I still didn't get COVID. So I'm amazing, and I rule the world.
Somehow
Double
I
jab
went-
also.
Yeah, I'm double jabbed. I got it. I got this second one today.
Nice.
My arm hurts a bit, but I'm hoping that's all that comes of that.
Good
Connor,
thing I
you
did it.
didn't do too well with your first jab.
Oh, no, I felt awful. Did you hear about this,
I
Darcie?
heard you died.
Yeah, no, it was awful. So yeah, I had it done on Saturday or Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt fine. Went to the gym, came home, and then just like within like 2 or 3 hours, I was just really ill.
Actually, that kind of happened to me, you know. I had mine done and I felt really ill, and then I tried to go to the gym and I had to stop after like 10 minutes because I felt like shit.
Yeah, I literally took the whole weekend and then went in Monday, but just didn't train. I just did cardio because I felt awful. Like there is like a point where I was like had my shorts t-shirt. That's disgusting. That's
What?
fucking vile.
Did you just burp?
Yeah,
A bit. Oh, sorry, I can't help
Oh,
it.
okay.
It was a natural reaction.
But yeah, like I had shorts, t-shirt, a hoodie, my dressing gown, and I was under my covers, and I was shivering. And then like an hour later, I was in nothing, and I was too hot. And then, that just continued for the whole day. I had to phone in sick the next day for work, and I just sounded fucking awful. Put a voice note in my work group chat because I tried calling the phone to call him, but no one answered. And then when I was in work, like 2 days later, everyone was like, "Are you all right? You sound like you're dying. Did you have COVID?" I was like, "Well, if I had COVID and I'm here 2 days later, why are you not concerned?"
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I somehow went to a gig a couple weeks ago in Southampton, and loads of people reported catching COVID from it, including members of the band, and I somehow was fine.
you got that
You know
Bill
what,
Gates
Chris? I
vocal
actually
chip,
met
though.
someone last night who went to that gig, and they were talking about how like they were like, "Oh, have you ever been to like Southampton?" And I was like, "Mate, I'm from near. Well, I'm not from near there, but I live near there." And she was like, "Oh yeah, the room was like tiny," and I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, the Joiners, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tiny, 200
small
capacity.
venue. We saw swimmers there, didn't we?
Yeah,
Like quality band. That was a big contrast to when we saw them there to then when where else did we see them?
there's the Electric Ballroom in London.
Yeah.
And then me and Darcie saw the main stage at Reading.
Oh yeah, they were. Did we
Who?
tell you about the drive up
Swimmers.
Swimmers when there was?
No.
Oh, yeah.
So me, Darcy, Kai, and Chris went to see Swimmers in obviously the Electric Ballroom. And what CD was it? Scout on for Girl? No, it was the Killers. The whole Killers
Do you know what?
album.
I don't really remember it,
Hot
to be
Fuzz.
honest.
So you know the bridge that like or the tunnel, sorry, that is like when you go towards London Victoria, that's like a mile long, and it's like, oh, hold your breath and see if you can go from one end to the other.
It's really long.
So instead of doing that, Darcy bought like a bottle of gin, vodka. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
What
bought-
I did bring gin.
I brought the gin.
Chris
and
did.
so I said to Darcy, instead of holding your breath, see how much you can down while going through this bridge.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
I did.
Nice.
There's a reason
I think
she
I drank
can't
the rest
remember
of
much
it.
of the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually remember it, to be honest.
Do you not remember seeing the band at all? There's a lot of old
I
people
do, but
there.
I don't remember it well. I just remember being nowhere near you guys by the end of it. I was like all the way somewhere else.
Yeah, she'd never listened to him, and she started the gig like we were near the back, and by the end of the gig, she was by herself, like right at the front.
Wow.
I was
Making her moves to
vibing.
the
What can I
front, yeah.
say?
Vibing her way to the front, pushing people out the way. There was a lot of old
Yeah.
people there as well, wasn't there? Surprisingly. Weird.
Yeah. You're those kind of people then, Darcy. People who get really
am.
rowdy.
I get away with it because I'm short, and people go, "Oh, do you need a better view?" And I'm like, "Please."
Well,
Please.
I don't think that's the only reason, because I'm short and no one ever does that for me. So
Like,
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a girl, but I'm gonna chuck that one in there for you.
yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Well, you can.
Equality.
Yeah.
Does now.
Okay.
Welcome to the Sunday Political Podcast.
Sunday
I know,
politics podcast. Yeah.
We
I
were
realised that we're
talking
going to spend a
earlier
lot
about
longer
having Boris
talking about
Johnson on.
this.
Yeah. I don't know.
Darcy, I said to the guys, what would you do if you just found out that Boris Johnson was a massive fan, just listened every week to your episodes?
We'll just ignore it.
I
Ban him.
I would actually
ban
want a
his
shout out
Spotify
from
account.
Boris Johnson, to be fair.
Say again?
I would want a shout out from him.
I wouldn't. I said, if there's anybody I don't want shouting us out,
Yeah.
he ranks pretty high.
Could you imagine
Well,
the
yeah,
delivery
but I
of-
mean, like, he knows the whole country. Like, he could be like,
he
"Hey
knows
guys,
the whole
Yeah, he
country.
knows
Yeah,
it.
but not everyone fucking likes it.
Yeah, it's only going to be
He
the
knows
supporters
everyone.
that tune in, and we don't really want loads of Tories listening.
No, they won't like us."
Along Bath Road where I used to live, and in the window it's just got "fuck Tories" in the window.
Love it.
Yeah, could you imagine that delivery from him promoting your podcast? He can barely string a sentence together as it is.
This is one
Oh,
where
Boris
he's so
Johnson.
passionate about it, he'd just be super eloquent with his wording.
Elegant.
Eloquent.
Mm.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. It's the
That'd be a-
plural-
that'd
it's
be
the
a bad word to
plural
fuck up.
version.
Yeah. So thanks, Boris, for tuning in.
Yeah, please don't ever do it again.
Leave immediately. Unsubscribe. Okay. So, what was it? Earlier in the week, Chris, Darcy, and I watched a movie. We said we were going to
We
watch
did.
Cruella, the 2021 new Disney movie, because it was added to Disney Plus. What's this movie about?
I don't know.
Dogs.
Do you?
Cruella's there. She's called Estella.
Yeah, she's called Estella, and she's like, my mum was murdered or something. I'm gonna
Murdered by some
be a-
Dalmatians who pushed her off a cliff.
Yeah.
Is it an origin story rather than a remake
Yeah,
of the
yeah, it's an
original?
origin
Yeah.
story. Yeah, Cruella or X-Men Origins Cruella. So she's like, she grows up in London, and she's like, I'm gonna get a job as a fashion designer or whatever, and shenanigans. And then she's like, my alter ego, I am now Cruella, because her mother's like, when you're mad, you're Cruella, not Estella. I'm like, haha, that's like the Solo thing. It's like, yeah, we'll call you Solo.
So
We'll call you Cruella.
how does it lead on from her being really big into fashion to then wanting to murder?
It doesn't.
What?
It doesn't really.
It doesn't. It doesn't
No,
really
she
tell you
doesn't
anything
turn
about that.
evil.
What?
No, she doesn't turn evil, actually.
She's just like a kooky, like anti-hero sort of person, and even then, she's not really a bad guy at all.
She's not
Yeah,
a
but
good
what about
guy, though.
What about the original movie? Isn't
Yeah, she
Doesn't matter.
kills dogs in the original movie.
Yeah, she kills dogs, but like in this movie, she's
Yeah, this
like,
is
she
an
loves-
I
origin
wouldn't kill
movie,
dogs.
Connor.
That's
This
what
is
I
the
mean. That's too
story,
evil.
you
So
know,
it's
not
just a soft
the.
reboot of the.
No, it's meant to be a prequel to, I think it's the live action 101 Dalmatians
Oh.
from the 90s,
Oh right,
Oh,
in which she's still like a bad guy who wants to skin Dalmatians.
that doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't make any sense.
It explains her fashion style though.
Yeah, it explains
Yeah.
nothing else.
Well, it's Disney.
Yeah, she like puts on a wig. She's like, my hair is black and white now. I'm evil, and then she takes her wig off, and she's Estella again, and all her friends like her again. I guess.
Mate, if that was my friend, I'd be turning them into St. James's. That's schizophrenia.
The villain of the film's her boss,
Yeah.
and her boss can't tell the difference between Cruella and Estella.
Yeah, but that's like people can't tell
They
the difference
look
between
the
Superman and
same.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, it's literally the
so-
exact same. Like the only difference is she's wearing a wig. Like
Yeah.
she's the exact same.
So I was
person.
watching The Amazing Spider-Man the other day, and it only just baffled me. The same with all the Spider-Man movies, actually, is that they'll have conversations with people that they know as like their other persona, but they don't put a voice on.
Yeah,
How does
Yeah.
no one notice this? At least Batman just puts a voice on when he does it.
Yeah, that's like the same logic with like Perry the Platypus from Phineas and
Yeah.
Ferb. Like, he puts on his hat and he's like suddenly Perry the Platypus.
I feel like that's-
actually really funny though.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
it's that
like
platypus
that's the
bipedal
gag.
all of a sudden.
yeah, they're like making fun of that sort of stupid trope and
Yeah.
stuff in that show.
That's the gag though. And this is just like they're doing it for real. Like, oh wow, she doesn't
Yeah.
look at anything alike. It's like, no, she's like, if anything, she looks more like Emma Stone than she did before. She's like painted her face white to look like Cruella. I'm like, why do you need to be more white when you're already a white woman?
It just doesn't.
No, you can't
And
be.
there's like
Yeah.
bits where they like hint at the fact that her boss is like clocking on to who she is, like clocking on that Estella is Cruella. And then in the next scene, they like completely disregard that, and she has no clue who it is.
Can I ask why she had to put on an alter ego?
Just because.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just feel like it. I don't know.
Jeez.
her boss was like really controlling, and she was like, "I want to show you."
So instead of
Because her boss is like a fashion designer. She's like, well, I won't let you steal my fashion, so I'm going to be Cruella and I'm going to make good fashion and then I'm going to parade it around in front of you and you'll see.
Well, sure. My logic would be is if you want to show your boss up and you've made better clothes than her, well, she don't know it's you if you've put on an alter ego.
Doesn't matter. It's all about the art. It's just like why they made this movie. It's all about the art.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, she like crashes into like her fashion shows, like as Cruella, showing off a new bit of like fashion or something to completely like just put her boss down.
Right.
Haha, to shame. She shows up in like one of those whatchamacallits, the rubbish bins, just the big rubbish
Yeah,
trucks. It's like, haha, it's me. And then she like falls out of it and it's like this big elaborate dress that's like 50 meters long and then she's like, that's it. And then she rides away. She like just leaves.
Well, was anyone else with the little newspaper clippings that were like, police have no leads, as if like she's a massive like criminal?
Yeah, she literally does nothing wrong. And,
Yeah,
like,
she's-
apparently the police are investigating.
She's just
her.
a bit flamboyant and the police are like, we're gonna catch her.
She's kooky.
The film's like set in the 70s because like apparently they're
Oh, it
trying
is
to
as
go
well.
for like the 70s punk thing, but I don't think they really do anything with that at all.
They sing a song.
Yeah, there's like a bit where
What's
there's
the
like a
song?
huge musical performance of I Wanna Be Your Dog by the Stooges, which is a
I don't remember that.
really shit song choice.
When they like put on like that big performance on like at like the water fountain and then the boss is like, that tears it. It's really getting on my nerves now.
Yeah. It's a shame because like the punk scene is like renowned for like how like shocking it was in terms of fashion, and I feel like they could have actually done something interesting with that instead of like barely even mentioning it.
Yeah, at least with what was that film you recommended with the it's like steampunk aesthetic with all those weird
Well,
songs.
Repo.
Repo, the
That's
genetic
the one.
opera.
Yeah, at least like when they did something like really outlandish, they actually committed to the style.
Yeah.
I thought that film was terrible though.
Yeah, it was, but it at least they committed to it.
I actually like Cruella less than Repo.
All right, so you've got a choice then,
Wow.
Max. You can either watch Fast and Furious 9 or Cruella.
Fast and Furious 9. Fast and Furious 9 was better. It was at least like kind of funny.
Did Max say how he burst out in laughter in a silent cinema? Yeah. So have you seen it?
Stupid as hell.
So I'm going to spoil a part 4. Well, I'm not going to spoil it because nothing happens. You think one of the guys dies because a truck lands on him, and Max just bursts out laughing because it looks so ridiculous. And then the guy just walks out from behind the truck.
Yeah. Like,
And
okay,
Max
then.
was
laughing
like-
made me laugh.
In Cruella, when the mum gets like thrown off the balcony, like all of us were just like in floods of laughter because it's like the funniest thing.
It
Did she
was
get kicked
hilarious.
off by a
Really funny.
dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dogs are like after Cruella, and then like she dodges out of the way, and then they get her mum and just
Well,
like,
surely
push
that's
her over a
her own
cliff.
fault then, really, isn't it? Not the dog.
Well, you think, and then there's the plot twist where it turns out that her boss was actually the one who killed her. She like called the dogs on her to push her off the cliff.
Yeah, but we all burst out laughing at that point. It was really funny.
It was funny
It was
though.
so funny.
And then there's the bit towards the end where her boss pushes her off the cliff,
Yeah.
Cruella, and she like has a parachute and somehow manages to fall down
That
into
was
a
funny
boat,
as well.
climb back up this hill, and get like exactly where they were in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, she like falls like directly like parallel to the cliff. I'm like, you should like the wind is blowing, the storm is raging. You would have been scattered across that cliff face. You're just not. You're just fine. You just like open up your Batman wings and like you got a parachute in there for some reason. Like you anticipated her pushing you off this fucking thing.
I can't
It's
ever.
so stupid.
I can't ever hear Max say the word scattered without just
Yeah.
thinking of scat.
That's what it was like. It was like it was just awful.
Would
They
the
were like,
fi-
yeah, we've got a boat down here. We've got like this canoe.
Would the film have been better if at the end the
Mhm.
main villain and Cruella just, instead of fighting physically, they settled their differences with a massive scat off?
Yeah.
Anything would have been better. There's like a
I
plot
was just
twist in
saying,
this
yeah,
where it's
anything.
like, oh, guess what? Your boss is actually your birth mum.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is
Right.
that real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is real.
fuck. Okay.
Fuck. Oh.
And then the boss is like, I will be a good mother to you. Shove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was
Sorry,
like,
I killed your foster mother.
Mm.
Now I'm your mum and I've been trying to kill you this whole movie.
Mm.
She's got like a dog, like the entire time. She's like, oh, I found this dog in a bin when I was at school, so now it's my dog. And sometimes the dog is real, but sometimes it's just like CG.
And really bad
Really
CG
bad
as well.
CG. Like, why couldn't you just got like a real dog? Like, what happened to the dog? It makes me think the dog died.
And it's not even
What,
like
because of the CGI?
Yeah, it's like at a point, it's at some point it's real, but at some points
Yeah.
it is not real.
And it's not like
Yeah,
it's
maybe it
doing
did.
anything like complicated that you couldn't train a real dog to do.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
we need to talk from A
Wait,
to
wait,
B.
wait.
We can't
And
do
you-
that.
wait, but there's,
CG
like-
it.
Scenes of like dogs in like the dustbins and shit. Like any dog can just be put into a dustbin.
Nah, not
Jesus,
anymore.
Darcy.
Can't do that now.
Yeah.
No, I mean like you'd have to train
2021.
them to like.
Do you know what I can imagine though? You know, like the CG dog you've said. So you know, in like the Guardians films, that James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn plays Rocket Raccoon, where
Yeah.
he stands in as the double in, like, so he crouches down in the green morph suit. All I can imagine is that to do that for the dog, they just got some like midget to dress up in a green morph suit and just walk around on all fours like a dog.
Maybe it's Disney. They do what
Imagine the
they want.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just sucked.
I remember when we were watching the film, I was like, you know what? At least the soundtrack's decent. As the film went on, I was like, this soundtrack actually kind of sucks.
It's not good.
Like, it's
really.
all
It did,
like-
Chris. It sucked a lot.
Yeah, it's all licensed music, but it's all like exactly the music you'd expect to be in like a film set in this period.
Yeah.
Except when they put Led Zeppelin in there, it had to be a cover because it's too gnarly.
Yeah, there was a couple of weird covers throughout, to be fair.
Even if like the songs were good, they weren't used well in the movie.
No,
That's
not
kind
at
of how
all.
I judge a soundtrack. Like you can have good songs, but just use them.
Yeah,
like,
just
well.
throwing songs into a film doesn't necessarily make it a good soundtrack, does it?
It's just a playlist.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They also play Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, which wasn't even out at the point the film's set.
Oh wow.
Came out like in the 80s, and this film's set in the late 70s.
Yeah. I guess my biggest problem with the movie is just I don't like Cruella as a character.
This film
I think she's
doesn't-
really boring. she's just like, she doesn't change really. She's like an asshole the entire time, even when she is a Stella. And it's like, it's not really like an excuse like, well, I had the wig on, so cut me some slack. Like, no, she's just not very compelling. I don't feel like they did a very good job with her at all.
No,
The film sounds like it just sucked.
it did.
It was
It
very
was
boring.
so boring. It's like over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes. It's like the length of Logan. But like, at least that had like an actual reason for being that length. This is just like, yeah, it needs to be over 2 hours. No, it doesn't.
No,
No,
not
it
at all.
doesn't.
At least Emma Stone looked like she was having some fun.
Who cares?
I don't think she was very good in the movie, but you could tell she was actually like enjoying it.
But did you have fun? That's the
No.
main thing. Yeah, there we go.
No, Chris was on his phone pretty much the whole time. I actually think he was bored, just shitless.
Yeah, to be fair.
I was really bored. We were like
Yeah, it
checking
was
the time
awful.
all the time. It's like, oh, we're only 10 minutes into this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but like everyone, like, so I put up like a picture that was like, oh, I hated this film, and like everyone was getting at me like, oh my god, how can you hate Cruella? Like, what did you hate about it? And I was like, what did you like about it? And no one had anything to say to me.
No, because they don't want to like rationalize why they like it. Some people just want to like watch something. I mean, that's fine. You just watch it passively, and you're like, that was good. You don't really like delve into why you liked it. But then like, I understand that to a point, but then don't like ride us for being like saying that we don't
not
agree
liking
with you if you can't even justify why you like it in the first place.
I don't think many of the live action reimaginings of any of the classic Disney films have been received well.
They're not good.
No,
They
they're
have
not
been
good.
but I
People
think
watch
they've
them,
been
like,
received well. Loads of
people
people
love
see
them.
Yeah.
They're not good, but people love
Yeah,
them.
but are these? Is it kids or people
No, I
that are
feel like it's
diehard
like
just
nostalgic
fans? Yeah.
people are
Some
like.
people our age.
That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. Like a lot of people are going to like them just because it's nostalgic back to your childhood, especially for people, pardon me, our ages. But when I've seen people do reviews of them and stuff, they just
yeah. Like
they're the
proper-
ones that have not been received well. When you actually talk about them and think of them as an actual movie, it's just like, yeah, take away the nostalgia and all the like that stuff, and it's
The
Pretty
thing
much
is,
all-
I actually hate them because of the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if the original's really good, why do you need to remake it?
Yeah,
You just
definitely.
leave them alone.
It's a low effort money grab that they can just go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, this will make money, so why shouldn't we make it?
Yeah.
And do you know what? Yeah, sometimes you'll like a movie because of the nostalgia as well. Stay Alive, for example, I love that movie and because of the nostalgia. And then I watched it again, I was like, yeah, maybe this is kind of shit.
I don't know. I'm not really looking for Disney for like artistic expressions of like emotion. You know, I don't really look to them for art.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Definitely not anymore.
Maybe like 20 years ago.
Maybe 20 years ago. Yeah.
What was it? What was about 20 years ago?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch,
That's a
Treasure
masterpiece.
Planet.
Hey!
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch is a solid film.
It bloody is. Yeah.
Which one's your favourite?
First one.
Yeah,
Well, the original one's the only good one.
The original one's
if I'm
the only
honest.
good one.
I don't know. I liked the.
Yeah.
Is it the second? What's
Is
the
it
one where they're in a
Stitch Has a
car or
Glitch?
something on the front cover?
Got Stitch the movie.
Yeah.
God,
I
don't even
can't remember what
that
happened
one.
in it. No, yeah, I can't remember what happened in that one.
It was like the electric one.
The
He
what?
goes around. They've got like an electric little guy. Stitch is trying to get more cousins or whatever.
Oh right, yeah. That show baffles me.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything more to say on Cruella? Because I really don't care.
Not at all.
No,
All
Just
right.
I wish Disney would stop.
Yeah? Please
I
stop.
would- yeah,
Please take a break.
I agree.
Just make like The Mandalorian. That's it. Just make the shows that are good or whatever. They don't need to be making movies. I've not liked a Disney movie in just ages.
hey man, we saw Black Widow the other week.
Yeah, that was all right. I guess. Even so.
So you mean like a proper Disney movie?
Yeah, I mean,
not
like a proper
saying
Disney
like
movie, like a
Disney own.
Yeah.
What?
Mm.
what? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get you. Yeah,
Like their live action films suck. Their animated films at the moment suck.
yeah, but they're Disney, aren't they? So
Yeah, of course.
I
Doesn't mean
just
it's
don't
good.
like that they're there in the cinema for like a run of 3 months and they get like 20 showings a day. It's like, couldn't you just like put something else there? Couldn't we get the Green Knight?
yeah, wow, yeah.
No,
You imagine
'cause
how
more
many-
people are going to see Raya and the Last Dragon than are going to see the Green Knight.
Yeah, that sucked too. All right, we'll rate this one out of Dalmatians then.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Got to
not
be
good.
out of 101 as well.
Yeah. I guess this isn't like the worst of these live action Disney movies, but that's not saying much because it's still really bad. I would never watch it again. It's way too long. Just a really boring piece of shit. I give it like 201 Dalmatians out of 10.
What?
201 Dalmatians out of 10. He
101?
bloody loved it.
Yeah.
I just said Dalmatians.
Don't know where 101 came from, Chris.
Okay.
That's what Connor said. He's like,
Yeah, so it's got to be out of 101. And you gave it 201.
yeah, I love
So
it.
not only was it good, it was double as
exceeds
good as what you
expectations.
thought.
So good it like just goes past all the rating systems.
Everything he has said in the past 20 minutes, just ignore.
Yeah,
It was just irony.
I had a really
It's
bad
just
time with
joking. It's
this.
just a joke.
I had a really upsetting time with this. I was just so bored. I was so bored. Oh my god! I just wanted it to end. I was really like, I was like emotionally exhausted afterwards. I was like, what even happened? There was not even like a plot really. It's just like shit that happens, and Emma Stone is there. Great, 1 Dalmatian out of 10. Yeah,
I've
Wow.
changed it to 10 now, not 5.
yeah. We did that ages ago. What do you mean? We did that when you were here.
No, you didn't. It was
We
always
did.
5.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's always 10.
It was always.
No, it
10.
wasn't.
It was 5 from like. No, it was always 10. Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, there was like a couple weeks where we slipped up and said out of 5. And
Oh, right,
then we were
right.
like, no, we should go back to 10.
But now it's 101.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of 101 Dalmatians.
Going to be a funny letter
Ah.
review.
Amazing. Do you know what? I actually don't think I hated it as much as you two did, though. I mean, there were points of it where I was like laughing at really cheap jokes, like really shit jokes that are not like they're funny for no one, but for me. Like there was really stupid bits like where people were like getting hit with like corks and stuff, and I was like, haha, that's so funny. And I was like, oh, the fashion's nice. And you two were like, nah.
You like burst out laughing on more than one occasion. I was like, whoa.
Darcie,
I did,
you
but it
enjoyed
was
this film.
Burn her.
It was just like shit things were happening, and I was like, that is so funny. And everyone would just be like really silent, and it's just me laughing to myself.
That's all
It's
right.
still not good though. Like, regardless of what I liked about it, it's not redeemable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 3 out of 101, apparently, because that is our new rating system.
These aren't good. These aren't good reviews for the film.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not good.
My review of it, and I haven't watched it, would be
Just based on what we said.
if you haven't got a Disney Plus account, don't watch it. Don't
Even
sign
if you
up.
Oh, don't
have
pay
a
for
Disney
it.
Plus account,
Yeah.
don't.
If you do have one, don't waste 2 hours and 17 minutes.
We considered seeing it when it was out in the cinema, but
Oh.
I think
I'm glad we didn't.
all of us
I would
decided
have
not
left.
to.
I think I would have walked out.
Oh, okay, right. So you got a choice then. You can either watch Cure for Wellness or Cruella. What are you choosing?
What's longer? Wait.
Isn't Cure
The
for Wellness
what?
like 2.5 hours?
It felt longer. It
felt like a
longer.
Okay, it's 2.5 hours. So based purely on that, I would watch Cruella,
Yeah.
but for no other reason.
Don't watch that movie.
Yeah, so that's that. And now
Don't
we
support Disney unless it's Marvel movies.
got even then. Well, now we've got the show to watch. I mean, to talk about. Chris, you want to explain what show we've watched?
Yeah, sure.
Slightly.
So we watched Chappelle's Show. I think the first season was 2002 it aired. It's 2003 then. So it's basically just like a sketch comedy show created by and starring comedian Dave Chappelle, who I think we're all various fans of in different ways.
I can sum up Cornwall in one word. Just
Yeah.
Dave
I
Chappelle.
went to Cornwall and we just watched Dave Chappelle stand-ups, yeah.
That and Tipping Point.
And
No,
the
it was the
chase. It was a chase.
That's it. Chase.
And Malcolm in the Middle, we watched that, and I think it was Max was like, I fucking hate this show.
How can you hate Malcolm in the
Boring.
Middle?
Oh, God, it was boring.
In it, that show's great.
Yeah,
I just
it's
don't
amazing.
deal with like sitcoms, I think.
It's like Home Improvements. It's such a dull show, but it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, Chappelle Show kind of just sums up all of Dave Chappelle's like style, how it's all very race-based and kind of all about just being offensive, pretty much.
Yeah, you would not get away with some of the shit that he did in that show today.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
it's very of its time. You can tell.
Yeah, it's not a show with like a story or anything. It's literally just a sketch show with Dave Chappelle introducing each sketch like to an audience, occasionally doing a tiny bit of stand up.
The one thing that one of the only complaints that I have about this show is that it would be every episode ends with stay right there, we'll be back after the commercial break, and then it would go to an advert, and then when he came back, it'd be like, thanks for watching, and then it would
I
end.
mentioned that to Chris actually because
commercial
in
break and
America
then,
they
like,
have
you
their
2 minutes
adverts
left.
differently.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it
Yeah.
is in America, because they, in like a 20-minute show, they have like 4 advert breaks or something
What?
ridiculous.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
ridiculous.
awful.
So what do we think about Chappelle's show season 1?
I think we all have like
Well-
very different opinions, actually.
Max, did you even finish it?
Okay, I'll say this right off the bat. No.
What
I did
episode
not.
did you get to?
It's halfway through episode 7, but I feel like I can
Okay.
still judge it as a season because it's basically the same thing the entire way
just,
through.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just obviously won't have all the sketches. I got to
No.
episode 11, so I haven't watched the last one.
Yeah.
So it's just
Um,
me and Darcie who finished it.
Well,
Yeah, we finished it.
Why do you say
Well,
that
it's
as if
only
like you're
one
offended
episode
that we
off.
didn't finish it? Like, is there something like revolutionary that
me and
happens
Max
at
have
the
been
end?
working on a super secret project.
Yeah, it's really hardcore. Super
We're making
secret.
chairs with 5 legs instead of 4.
Whoa.
Don't spoil the secret.
Sorry. Ignore that. Cut it. Cut that, Chris.
I didn't like it.
Did you not like it?
I didn't like it at all.
It was so much different to what I thought it was going. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be either a sitcom-based show or Dave Chappelle doing stand-up every single week. I did not realize it was sketches, and it took me maybe 3 or 4 episodes to really get into watching it because it would play like the first episode. I was so fucking lost on what was happening. I was like, oh, we're doing sketches, and then like the second and third episode, it kind of got into it. But then after that, I found myself like during some of the sketches and in between the sketches, like on my phone, because I was just so like, yeah. Some of the sketches were absolutely hilarious. My favorite was the it was the drug guy going into the school.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dave Chappelle playing a drug dealer or a drug addict, and he went into the school. Was just it was like, I'll suck your dick for some drugs.
It was Tyrone Biggums.
That's the one. And
Yeah.
then you didn't get to it, but he brings him back in like episode 9, where he goes to an intervention and he just flushes himself down the toilet.
That was weird.
It's
He
Like-
comes back quite a few times in the show as well.
he does. I don't know, like, yeah, some of it is really funny, and then some of it's just not funny at all.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I think that if you don't find this kind of comedy funny, the show offers not much else that you can kind
Yeah,
of latch
I
onto.
agree.
So when I just if it doesn't hit for me, which it didn't, I just was really bored.
Yeah, like at least with stand up, like some of the jokes you'll like, some of them you won't enjoy, but you still have a good time watching it. But like Max said, this is very of the same each episode. So if you don't like one episode, chances are you're not
Yeah.
gonna like any of the episodes because the style is very it's different. I can understand how this became a big show. And originally, when you guys said about watching it, I wasn't gonna watch it because I don't know if you saw Dave Chappelle talking about it when he told everyone to boycott it because he wasn't paid for any of it.
Yeah, he hates the show just generally.
But
Oh,
now,
wow.
but I had to Google it beforehand, and Netflix finally paid him what he was owed for it.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool, we're good to. I'm good to watch it.
Yeah, he originally wanted it just to be 2 seasons, and Comedy Central kind of forced him to make a 3rd season. It got 3 episodes in and he just quit. And he like quit comedy generally, moved to Africa for like 10 years or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, he took a long time off.
And then came back and kind of just said he hated the whole experience. He hates the show retrospectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't have very choice words to say about it. But he
No.
articulates himself in a very good way. Where he wasn't insulting the show or anyone that worked there. He just put it across like, yeah, he wasn't paid, and like it's unfair.
Yeah.
A lot of the show I just think is very like of its time. It's such a 2000s type
Yeah,
of show. Like
definitely.
a lot of the time I feel like the joke was just like boobs. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
All of that stuff was really cringy.
It's really like
It
was, it
outdated,
was so
and I just didn't
cringe.
find it funny. Like
It's-
a lot of like jabs at just like women in general,
Yeah.
or like gay people. I just didn't find very funny.
It's like, what is it, the first episode or the second episode where he like shows a blooper of It's the first episode where he's in the Porsche and he's driving. There's the woman in the
literally the first thing in the first
literally,
episode.
yeah, and
with the titty thing.
yeah, it falls out, and he's like, he pauses the screen, and he's like, look at my face, and he's just like looking at it, and there's like tits hanging out, and you're like, yeah, you wouldn't get away with that today. Like people would lose their fucking collective shit about that. And I think a lot, like Max said, a lot of the jokes are either. There was that whole skit about the woman wanting to get like a breast reduction, and then Dave Chappelle takes her through like the only reason she's been treated nice and has got friends is because she has big tits, and then even her friends are only friends with her because she has a big chest. It's like, yeah,
that's what I mean. I just didn't really gel with it.
That one. I thought it was just so stupid.
It was, and then it's at the end where she's like, "Oh, I thought you an angel," and he's like, "I'm a janitor," and he's like, "I was
really
going to ask you how you came along with me."
I'm high on PCP. That's how it seems.
Like, yeah, so a lot of this stuff was funny, but I got the same thing when I watched Bones as well. You could definitely tell it's of its time.
Yeah,
some of the sketches I just found to be very long as well. It was like, okay, I understand the joke, and it's just going on for ages. I know fucking black white supremacist bit where he like dresses up as like a member of the Ku Klux Klan, but he's blind, so he doesn't know that he's black, so he just hates black people. I'm like, okay, like maybe that would be funny in like a 5-minute sketch, but it goes on for a really long time.
Yeah. One of the ones that I watched today was like he did a sketch where I think it was this guy Kevin moved into like an all black house.
That was my favourite bit of the whole show.
And like his girlfriend gets I know exactly.
It's like it's a parody of I think it's The Real World, like a reality show from the 2000s. So it just focuses on this house where it's all black people and one white guy moves in.
Because isn't it like it's all white people and one black guy moved in?
Yeah.
And they
the
reverse
white people
it.
were crazy.
And
so like this time it's the black people are crazy and this white guy's freaking out.
Yeah, so all the black people do is drink, smoke, do drugs. Yeah. And I love the ending of the sketch where like Kevin goes to walk off just before he leaves, and Dave Chappelle goes, "Oh, Kevin," and he goes, "What?" He goes, "I also had sex with Katie too." And just starts laughing.
Yeah, he like brings his girlfriend in, and like two of the people in the house just kick him out of bed and sleep with him. He brings his dad over at one point. His dad gets stabbed.
That was funny. Yeah, I liked when his dad got stabbed, or like he's like in
Did
the
you
corner.
watch that? That's like past episode 7, isn't it?
No, it was like episode 2 or something.
No, it wasn't 2.
Or episode 3 or 4.
It was like halfway through, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
it was something
It
like
seems
that.
like I'd only watched that yesterday.
I'm thinking like when you're saying all this, I'm like, yeah, that was actually all right. Like I didn't mind that part, but it's like in the context of the show when I'm watching it, it's like, well, this is going on a bit too long, and like only slightly do I feel like it got a laugh at me. Like I laughed when like his dad got stabbed. That was funny.
Yeah, that
Or
was
like when he was crying in the corner having a wank when like his girlfriend is getting railed. Oh, okay.
One of the funniest scene in that sketch for me was when he's talking about when him and his girlfriend had sex. He's like, "I didn't like the way Tyrone was like looking at me," and then it's in night vision, and it just pans to the right, and you just see his eyes lit up by the camera. He's just wanking to them too.
Don't stop.
and he's crying.
Yeah, there's a couple of sketches throughout the first season that literally take up like half the episode, and that's one of them.
Yeah,
In
very
the
long.
last episode, there's do you guys ever remember that show Wife Swap?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a parody of that where it's a black family switching with a white family, and Dave Chappelle plays both dads, so he plays the white dad and the black dad. And that takes up
I actually like that
over
bit.
half the episode. That's probably my favourite bit of the whole show.
Do you know how
Yeah, the rest of
off-putting it is to see Dave Chappelle do on whiteface with like blonde hair? It's so strange to look at. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like when he does the news anchoring thing, and he literally is the same guy.
Yeah. What's the news anchor's name? Do you
I can't
remember?
remember.
Oh,
Some white name.
I like his report where he's talking about how the black people got reparations for slavery from the US government, and suddenly that black people are like the richest people in the world.
And he's like, "Are you gonna quit your job being a garbage man? I just bought this vehicle out of cash. I'm rich, motherfucker," and just drives off.
And he's like, KFC is like the biggest corporation in the world now.
It was like interesting when he said like, yeah, now the economy is thriving because they're just putting all the money back into the economy. Like they're just spending it, and they don't like hoard it like white people do. I guess was the the commentary there.
Yeah, we're bastards, aren't we?
We are. There was that part in episode 6 where like he's got this gay guy answering questions from the public. I found this to be so shit. It's just like this dude in a room and he's like, Dave Chappelle's interviewing just people on the street and they're like, wow, what's it like being gay? And he's like, haha, it's
Yeah, that was
okay.
proper cringy.
Yeah.
Especially that guy from, was it Steel Panther? He's
Yeah,
like,
Twisted
oh, if you're
Sister.
gay, do you want a piece of this? And he was
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
no.
Yeah, and he starts pretending to throw up. That was really cringy.
It was
There's
really
also
bad.
there's Ask a Black Guy with the comedian Paul Mooney. They do that like 2 or 3 times. I don't think any of them are really that funny either. Like he just
No.
ignores the question just to insult the person, or like go on some commentary about black life in America.
The parts I found like most interesting to me were like just like people who showed like talents or like interesting things that they were doing. There was like a part at the end of episode 2 where he gets like Mos Def to do a rap in like a car that he's driving. It was just like a nice kind of just bit. It's like it's not even supposed to be funny. It's just like a guy rapping, but the rap was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he has I think it's the second to last episode of the show. Mos Def's band, they'd have a full performance in the studio. We also got De La Soul come in at one point and do a performance in like a trailer or something.
There was a part like at the end of episode 6 where he just had that guy on the piano and he was just scatting along to it. I like that. I identify with that a lot. I was like, yeah, I'm grooving.
That's Max's real dream.
Yeah.
Were there any bits that you really, really hated, Max?
Yeah, I think I've said a lot of it. There was I've only got like halfway through episode 7, but like because I had to come here. So, but in episode 7 there was like this like how it should have ended type of gag where like they do like here's how the Matrix should have been, and it's like well it's just basically like a reenactment of Neo trying to escape from the office, but like they put in one gag at the end and it's like it was me, Dave Chappelle, can I use your stapler or something, haha, and then it ends. Oh, okay, that's not funny, is it?
There was just that whole if movies were real thing, which was literally just reminding me of that Smosh sketch they used to do all the time, where they did if movies were real. It was like a recurring series on that channel.
Oh shit!
I know what you mean, yeah.
What was one of the sketches on? If that was it, the one that I watched today about the Jedi's like being outed as paedophiles, and Yoda gets the press conference, and they're like, "What would you say about this video of you?" And he's like, "Yoda, it was not." And then he just goes, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." And then it's just a video of Yoda. Have you seen it?
Yes, Yoda and Qui-Gon Jinn doing coke.
They've got the campest guys. It's like Qui-Gon Jinn is trying to be like they're trying to portray him as a gay guy, and so him and Yoda are just talking, and then like. Yoda starts sniffing crack, and on the bottom of the screen it just says Yoda starts sniffing a white substance, and then him and Qui-Gon Jinn just start like doing coke and making a joke about Qui-Gon Jinn like touching kids. That was
great.
fucking hilarious. Oh, I love that bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like just the news reporter, like, yeah, the Jedi's been outed as, like the Supreme Court's have like outed them as something else, like a paedophile ring or something, and they just get an interview of Yoda.
There was a bit I really liked. Was the player haters ball, where it's a bunch of just insult people, and it's just like the joke is just them just insulting everyone. I don't know why, but that really made me laugh. Just the writing of that I thought was really smart and funny.
Yeah.
I feel like no one has much to say.
I don't think
Really
there's
anything
much
else to say.
I don't think there's much you can say because, like, unlike any other show where we could talk about like the story, the character development, the characters,
There's no narrative.
there's nothing. So it's like, what did you think of the skits? These ones were good. This one was good. What did you think of the show itself? Blah blah blah. Like, there's not really much else you can say from that, can you?
I think
Like-
we
Yeah,
all
I
knew
suppose
this would
that's
be
true.
a shorter episode generally, because there's not loads to say about this show.
Yeah, man. I picked a perfect episode to come back. The one where I didn't see the movie that everyone watched, and we watched a show where there's not really much to talk about.
That's all right. I guess it's just overall, it's a comedy show. I guess it's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. If that means anything to you, but then
Is
I
it
feel like
100%?
I kind of feel like it shouldn't because
That's
comedy is so
fucking
subjective. And if you don't
ridiculous.
find it funny, it's like the production is like so early 2000s, and like
Yeah.
it's like almost
Wow.
like really low quality for me. I just don't really get on board with
It's
it.
got
at
like
all.
a 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb. It's like the 30th highest rated show on the platform or something ridiculous.
I don't get it.
Do you think it's like, so you know, like with Queen, like they're massive now, mainly because Freddie Mercury had died, and I'd say that was a huge part that catapulted them into like the cemented as like one of the biggest bands ever. Do you think that was the same for this? Like Dave Chappelle left for 10 years, so people just left on like that kind of made everyone intrigued about this show that made him leave comedy and built up to be
Yeah,
like a massive
maybe.
thing. And
I know it was really big at the time as well. I feel like a lot of people probably loved the show because of nostalgia.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I like even just appreciate just Dave Chappelle having a go at it. You know, he's like this just one black man doing a show that's like, I don't know, I've not really seen anything like this before this kind of point. So to like, I do respect him a lot for just having a go at it and making this show that is primarily based on just his own life experiences. I don't think I've seen much in the way of that before now, or before 2003. So yeah, I appreciate like the just what it is, but I don't like, I guess, the content of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's very
Marmite. You either love it or you hate
Yeah.
it.
I was going to say I think it was very like very groundbreaking for its time, but don't think all of it holds up now. I feel like a lot
Well,
of it's
now,
very
yeah.
dated.
Now we're saturated in all like this type of stuff anyway. Yeah, you can kind of like going back to it, yeah.
I do think Dave Chappelle has definitely grown a lot as a comedian as well. I think he's
His voice has
far
gotten deeper.
better. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so weird watching him like in his earlier stuff because he sounds like a child,
Yeah,
and then now he just sounds like, yeah, you're like, what?
Yeah, me and Darcie had never really watched any of his specials before, so we watched a bunch of his new ones and then went back to one he did in the 90s, and I'd never heard his earlier voice, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he honestly,
Yeah, it was really weird.
so high, but yeah, but yeah. Dave Chappelle as a comedian though is just incredible. Have you seen like any of it? Do you see his stand up that he just titled like 626 or something? He titled it the same like the number that like the officer was kneeled on George Floyd's neck is like in like homage to it. And he literally didn't make a joke throughout this whole entire set. He just spoke about like that incident and like his blah blah blah.
I've not watched it, but I've heard it's really great.
Nah.
Dave Chappelle's like one of the only comedians that I've ever watched where like instead of telling jokes during his sets, he'll just tell stories, and it's just like no one's laughing at a comedy show, but everyone's more engaged. It's he's an incredible artist, and
yeah, I do really
comedian.
like Dave Chappelle. I just don't think this show is for me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, I've seen quite a few of his stand-up shows. They're really good, honestly. I do like him a lot as a comedian. I think he's grown a lot, and you can tell. Yeah, just not really for me, I think. The Chappelle Show. Do we have anything more to say about The Chappelle Show Season 1?
Yeah, do you have anything to add,
No.
Darcie? 'Cause she's not said loads.
No. All right, then.
she
we'll go-
finished
No,
that before you even finished the question.
Yeah, because it's just like, what else is there to say? We've literally said everything that
Yeah.
is to be said. There's nothing
That's
I can
all right.
add.
If we went on about this show for like an hour, like we
Yeah.
almost feel less
Yeah.
valuable, I guess. So should we go on to ratings then?
Yeah.
What we're going to do it out of? Anyone?
I didn't know we were rating it.
Yeah, sure. What do you mean? We do this every
Yeah.
time. No.
Yeah.
You've been on for
I
90
think-
episodes.
I
Do
don't
you not know the
think-
concept
No,
of
do
this
you know what I
podcast,
think it is?
This is the
Darcie?
last
It's
show with
because
us.
when we did Westworld, I don't think I rated it because I was just like, I care about this so little, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I remember
don't wanna
when we
rate
did
it.
that as well. You're like, wait, are we rating this?
She just forgets
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
time.
because
Shit.
Every
if I knew we were
Do
going
we
to
rate
rate it, I have to come up with a...
movies?
Yeah,
Just
but
come
now
up
I
with
have
a
to come up
number,
with a
it
rating on top of
doesn't
my
matter.
head.
So Darcie, at the end of like every review and people are like saying numbers, what are you assuming they're doing?
What do you mean? What?
Don't worry. When everyone's giving their ratings,
Yeah.
You're just like, hope this doesn't come back around on me.
what are they doing? Why are they just giving
no,
weird
right,
numbers
because,
out of
right,
films?
so- Well, because normally we rate movies, obviously, and I've already rated them because I just watched them and I rate them as it is. But when I'm watching TV shows, I don't rate it because I'm like, it's not the same. So like, I don't go around to rate it, so I don't actually know. And now I'm gonna have to make one up, like off the top of my head.
Do it on like what you'd recommend, like out of 10, 10 being you'd recommend it to everyone, 1 being you'd recommend it to no one.
I feel like I would like do ratings on shows by season, but like if I'm rating like Game of Thrones, like that's my favorite show, but I wouldn't give it like a 10 just based on like
The last season.
The last season just was really bad.
That would get,
especially on the last season.
that would
right?
get a 2 out of 10, maybe.
You'd like rate all the individual seasons and then do like an overall rating.
Because generally the seasons themselves are consistent within their own field, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Most
what are we doing
seasons,
now?
like, yeah.
All right, we'll just okay.
Chappelle's
Yeah.
is there.
There we go.
Why not?
Chappelle's.
Chappelle's.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I do think a lot of it's very dated. I don't think all of it is great, but what I found funny, I did find really funny, and I do think there's a lot of really smart, witty stuff in there. So I guess I give it like 7 Chappelle's out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't really gel with me. And I won't finish it because I can't be bothered. I only watched it because of this podcast, so I've done that now. I don't need to watch it again, but it's going to stay in my continue to watch Netflix feed for at least the next year. So great.
Till he starts watching more shows.
Yeah, so based on that, I don't like... Yeah, I mean, I hate it. I think it sucks, and I would never recommend it to anyone, and I don't know. Sign of the times, I guess. Just not for me. 3 Chappelle's out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same as Max. I'm not going to watch season 2, and I'm not going to finish this season. But I enjoyed what I watched, but I'm not compelled to watch anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give it like a 4.5, maybe a 5 at most.
Yeah.
I think I'm literally the only one out of all of us who actually wants to carry on.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well,
I finish
that's how I felt you and Bones.
Chris, you can carry it on your own, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I just imagine like Chris gets in, puts the Chappelle show on, and Darcie just like
She
knocks
just
him
leaves.
out and then just changes the channel.
Just dart out.
Yeah, she's gone for the next week, so I've got plenty of time.
That's what you'll be doing with all your free time.
It's going to take you a week to 20 minutes an episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm working all the time.
Watch it at work.
Yeah, why not?
Make
Not
your
like
own
you're doing
skit.
anything better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Just
giving
like-
it, Darcie?
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, I mean,
You'd
I
like
actually,
your time.
did you know what? It's really weird because there are parts of it that I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. But when I actually think back on like, now we're having this conversation where it's like, well, how would you like even recommend it? Do you even like it? And I'm like, actually, I don't think I really did like it that much.
Word.
Like I'd probably give it like a 5 or a 6. And that is like generous, I would say.
Yeah.
I was going to go 5.5. We'll do 5.5.
Okay.
Nice.
I wonder what
Nice.
you were doing, Chris, but you get in.
Yeah, I'm quickly trying to create the wheel because I
Oh.
forgot to do it.
Oh, come on, man.
Wait, just why don't you pick the phone
I was
up?
about to ask if you were doing the
When you, like,
wheel.
take
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
phone
just
out of the
take
thing.
the phone.
It's just like on its side. Instead of like purposely handicapping yourself.
Yeah, so we got 2 wheels to do, don't we?
I don't want to
Oh,
make
yeah,
this
we
too
got-
easy
we
for
got-
myself.
So we got the next show for episode 55. And then
Can
we've
I-
also got... the
Can I
next
recommend
episode.
you just watching Bone season 2 for the episode 55?
No.
Absolutely
No,
not.
thanks.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So,
All I can hear is Chris typing on the keyboard.
yeah, well, we've got the we're doing the show first.
Yeah, the show first.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Please don't be bad. I've had enough of these boring
Chappelle
shows.
Show
I'm so
season
bored of
2.
these shows. I dread having to go, like, every time. I just hate it.
So, thing that's come up is The Fall.
What is that?
What is that?
So, I think it's
The
a
Fall?
BBC drama.
Wait. Was that the, Jonathan Glazer one? No, it's not. Oh, it's the one with, Gillian Anderson.
What's it about?
Who knows? It's
Yeah,
about
I've
I think
heard
it's
about
like
this
a
show.
murder mystery or something.
yeah, serial killer who preys on victims around Belfast.
It's quite popular, apparently.
I guess we'll do that then. Yeah. Maybe it might be good.
You never know, man. You could find your favourite show on one of these.
I could. I
Wait,
haven't
wait,
so
how
far,
many
but we'll see.
episodes are in this? Oh
There's
my
always
god.
hope.
Oh yeah. How many episodes are? Oh, 6. Apparently 6 each. That's
Oh,
all.
okay, that's
That's
not bad.
I think
I
it's,
think so.
I think it's on Netflix. Could be wrong.
BBC.
Yeah, and I know it's definitely on the iPlayer, but I think it's on Netflix as well.
Might
It
be.
says it's. Well, it was from BBC Two, so it probably will be on.
It's 5 episodes.
one of those things.
5 episodes long.
Even shorter. Are they 45 minutes each or an hour?
I feel like they're probably going to be about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is on BBC
Jesus
iPlayer.
Christ, how many movies have you got?
Oh, well, now we're going to do next episode,
Yeah,
which is
the,
episode 46.
Oh, can I
the
spin the
wheel's
wheel?
like broken
Can I
on my
spin the
phone.
wheel?
There's so much on there.
No. Oh,
Oh,
please,
it's spinning.
please
What are we
be,
going to get?
please be Bone Season 2.
Yeah,
What?
Darcie is, I think, going to watch it from home. Just
Yeah.
me and Max planning on doing the marathon.
Yeah. So what do we got?
What is it?
It's a
Steven
director special.
Spielberg
I don't want to do that
movies.
one. Do it again. Do it again.
Director
I don't want to do
special.
this one. I don't like Spielberg. I want to do something I actually like.
Do you not like Steven
Actually came up
Spielberg?
I
again.
don't like him. What we got? Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. Look.
You can't spin the wheel.
Yes,
you
I
can't keep
yeah.
spinning. That
I can
defeats
do
the
it one
purpose
more
of the
time.
wheel.
I can do it one more time. I watched those movies like the other month. I can do it one more time.
I'm glad I hate
This is
those
a
movies.
definitive one now. Sorry if everybody.
Shit, I
wanted
don't
to
like
watch
this one
Pirates of
either.
the
Change it.
Caribbean. Oh, what's it gonna? Okay.
What is
Nightmare
it?
on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
So
1
we'll do
to
the
3.
first three.
Okay, yeah, they're
Okay,
decent
we can do
movies.
that.
Decent
Yeah.
movies. Me and Max saw
I can't
the
hear a
first.
single thing anyone's saying.
Me and Max saw the first one in the cinema.
First 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Darcie.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay, that's that one then. A horror special.
Yeah.
I like the first one at least. I haven't seen any of the other
The
ones.
second one's gay.
Oh, cool.
Chris, you can't fucking say that.
The second one is super gay.
All right, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So tune in next week for the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 to 3
Wait, did we?
movies.
Oh, never mind.
What?
Carry on.
You all right?
No, I thought you said there were 3 wheels, so my brain just instantly died.
No.
No,
There's not
just
3
Was
wheels.
that?
just
I
two.
don't know
I
what
don't
the
know.
other
Yeah,
wheel
carry on.
before.
Sorry.
Just like who dies next episode.
How has she done 19 episodes but still hasn't got the concept of some of the episodes that you do?
She doesn't know how to do ratings. She doesn't know how the wheels work.
That's all right. I mean, this is like only the second show that we've done with Darcie, so that's
What was the
that's fine.
first? Oh,
Westworld.
yeah. So yeah, this
And
will
And
be
I
the
fucking
second.
hated it.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about Westworld.
it was all right. So,
That's the where they're in like a simulation or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, but I've heard
Yeah.
good things.
it's fine.
Listen to our episode instead.
Yeah.
How do you know I already haven't?
Well, I'm sure you have. You're an avid listener. So we've got that to do, and then maybe you want to subscribe to some of our social medias. We got YouTube, which perhaps you're already listening on. That is the Sunday Movie Marathon. Subscribe. Twitter is at Sunday Movie Pod. Facebook is at Sunday Movie Marathon. And Letterboxd, if you're on there, is at Sunday MM, capital S, capital MM. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Connor, for coming back and being on this very special episode.
You're welcome. It's
We
back
missed
to
you.
Africa after this.
Yeah. The long hike back
Yeah.
to Africa.
Back to the Alps.
Back to those African Alps, eh?
Walking through the sea to get there.
Man, yeah. Fuck, I didn't leave any food or water when I left.
Your adopted family's just going crazy.
Time to adopt a new one.
I like Tamagotchis. Great. And on that note, I think we'll end it there. Yeah, see ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Rick James.